Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, today we're back talking about World War again. It's a subject that's just not going to go away for a while. And I know some of you are probably tired of hearing about Russia and Ukraine and NATO and all that kind of stuff. I get tired of it too. But the fact is that I think there's something serious over there. And we've said that from the beginning. And the potential for World War III, which would be basically a war between NATO and Russia, is increasing. It's been there since the beginning, and those chances, those odds are ever increasing, and they've increased once again. Just in the last couple of days, some things have happened, and if you haven't heard about it, want to talk about that. And basically, it's just a thing of we've got to continue to prepare ourselves. Before I get started, I know many of you are still trying to stock up. We all are. I mean, don't forever at any point ever think that we are the ultimate preppers here. We are always constantly stocking up and increasing our knowledge and our skills and everything. And one of the things that it's a good thing to have is emergency freeze-dried food. My Patriot Supply produces some of the very best out there and the best value, and I've teamed up with them. And you can go to the link down in the description, or just go to preparewithtravis.com, and you can find they've got several specials running right now, and they've really tried to keep their prices down with all this increase in food prices. But I don't know how long they'll be able to, but until they can, it might be good to kind of stock up a little bit if you can. So this whole Russia, Ukraine, NATO, us, all kinds of stuff going on. Yesterday, it came out in the news that NATO has announced that their emergency response troops, which had in the past been at a force of about 40,000 troops, that they were immediately increasing those numbers to 300,000. That's a very dramatic increase in troops. That is wartime numbers, okay? Going from 40,000 troops to 300,000. That is a force that most certainly in numbers could be used to start a war with Russia. And of course, the news doesn't talk about it too much, but I wondered yesterday when I heard it, I thought, oh man, something's about to go down. I mean, we know things are already going down. We've got this whole Kaliningrad area that Lithuania is blockading from Russia, which is in violation of treaties with Russia. And a lot of people think that could be the starting point of World War III. And then there's also Russia is again making threats that if any NATO power tries to take Crimea away from them, that it will immediately be World War III, no questions asked. So I wondered, what is it? What's about ready to happen that they are increasing their force size, NATO's emergency response force, from 40,000 to 300,000? And well, it came out today, basically. Turkey has announced that they are agreeing and they're going to give the okay for Sweden and Finland to join NATO. As you all probably know, all of NATO has been supportive of this. Sweden and Finland are nations that do share borders with Russia, and there has been in the past, Russia has made threats that they will not tolerate more NATO countries on their border. But the one country that's kind of stood in the way of that is Turkey, and Turkey has said in the past that under no circumstances would they support Finland and Sweden being part of NATO. And then it was announced today that, in fact, Turkey is going to go ahead with it. They're going to give it the thumbs up. And this week starts a summit, a NATO summit, which I suspect it will be announced in some level of official capacity that the approval process has started, or I don't know that they'll go so far to say that Sweden and Finland are going to be part of it at the end of this summit this week, but I suspect there'll be some talk about how serious it is and how they are pretty much approved and part of NATO. So that could very possibly be one of the reasons why they announced this immediate increase and rapid increase in their troop forces. This is I can't see how all of this playing out is ever going to end up okay. We've gone too far down this road. We have too many warmongering politicians here in the United States that are just constantly wanting us to go to war with Russia. That's flat out said that we are at war with Russia, just not the shooting part yet. The Secretary General of NATO said that basically any type of peace talks with Russia are just no more. That there's no chance for broad talks of peace and negotiations with Russia any longer. When we start to hear leaders like this talk like this, if you don't know your history, that's usually the kind of talk that happens right before a big war. In fact, that's the kind of talk that happened right before Russia invaded Ukraine. That the negotiations have fallen through. There's no more, no other place that we can go in negotiating some kind of peace deal. And then the rapid increase in troop sizes. Folks, this is one of those things that we have to factor into with our overall preparedness plans. If we end up in war with Russia and the very possibility of China and other nations being involved in that, another world war, the Pope just a couple of weeks ago had already said, we're already at world war, not just us, but the whole world. That World War III has already begun. This is going to majorly affect us here, okay? It's going to affect the supply chain. If you go back in history, some of you may be old enough, but it's getting far enough back that there's less and less of you. But some of you may be old enough to remember growing up during World War II, of how there was such a limit on everything, because there was so much effort put into producing stuff for the war machine. And people had to learn to do without. They learned to sacrifice and just did without. When World War II started, America had a pretty strong economy at that point. We had gotten through the Great Depression, and we had, built our economy and supply chain and everything back up to where we were at a pretty good place at the start of World War II. And then that happened. We are not in a good place. We are in very possibly the worst economic position that we've ever been in as a nation. And if that continues and we go into a world war, and I don't see how we could reverse it before a world war, the devastation that it could have on us, the devastation, not just in loss of lives, but the loss of the goods and things that we're used to. It could exacerbate so much more. The whole supply chain, the shortages, the divide amongst people here in the United States, the fighting, the infighting that's going on. I mean, the war always brings that. And I think that's one of the reasons why they've been trying to play up Russia as such an enemy, so that when we finally go to war with Russia, you're not going to have a whole lot of people out protesting against it. This is not going to be a good war for us to be in, folks. I'm not going to say that this is a war we would lose, but I am going to say that this is a war that's going to be very difficult for us to win. And Russia and China have been building their forces for years. They have been strengthening not just the technology and the armaments, but the actual troops. Whereas we, on the other hand, have been downsizing and weakening our troops and allowing anything and everything that's liberal and progressive into the military. This is not going to be a good war for us. I know I've said that. I feel like a broken record. So I want you to understand the importance of getting prepared. It looks like that we are very, very close to that day. Will it happen? I know a lot of you keep saying no, it probably won't. I'm pretty much in a 90% position right now that I think that it is going to happen. Could be wrong, and if it is, I will certainly admit to it. But we've gone so far down this path with Russia and NATO and everyone that I just can't see any other way for it panning out. So folks, continue to prepare, continue to get ready. Get your houses in order, folks. Prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. And in case you're wondering, this is a butterfly milkweed plant. I'm sure someone's going to ask that. Butterfly milkweed. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.